Hello everyone, T-Man978 continuing my month of Megatron with Transformers Generations War for Cybertron, Megatron. This Megatron is cool. Despite having some huge limitations articulation-wise, I've found ways to get around that. It's almost like you don't even notice those limitations, which is really, really cool. But anyway, as you can see, he has this massive fusion cannon. It's like bigger than his whole arm. He has some cool paint apps. He has a purple Decepticon symbol. I hate when they don't do that. Like they give us silver or some other random color. He has translucent plastics, which they don't do a lot of. And as you can see, he looks rather imposing. Here's that video game accurate face, which is a cross between like a comic style and like Transformers Prime. That's the best thing I can compare it to. He has more transparent plastic right there, which is painted red with this. He has a lot of red paint. They messed up right in there in the fusion cannon, as you can see, but it's decent. There's some silver paint there. His back is pretty plain. He does have these cool, neat touches like he did in the game, like that Decepticon symbol in his back. Like all the Transformers in the game had either an Autobot symbol or a Decepticon symbol on their back, or somewhere like molded in, and that's a really neat detail right there. Articulation, since I mentioned it. His head can do 360. It's a little bit hindered due to his back. He can look down due to the transformation. Look up a little bit due to transformation. His shoulders 360. They can go up like that, and actually the hinge can hinge up due to transformation. So he can come in like that a bit. To be honest with you, his arms, if you want to be realistic, they just swivel right here at the upper bicep. Mid bicep, because that's in the middle of his arm. This would be his elbow if this were realistic. But unfortunately, due to his transformation, these two pieces come together to make one forearm and one hand. The elbow bends here, which that's not an elbow. It's just you're popping his arm out of the socket. But you can overlook that, and he can do, let's see, wait, I was able to turn this in. You can kind of fake turn his arms in a little bit, and you can do things like this to make his arm aim up. But what am I thinking about? Because I could have swore this could turn in. No, it doesn't. If you're okay with him having a split open arm like that, maybe we can do something like this. There's a Beast Wars story similar to this, where the arm hung off like that. But if you do this, then he can rotate his hand in like this. But of course now he only has a thumb and two fingers, which is unfortunate. Let's transform that back right. Come on. Legs are awesome, despite the arms, because they can kick up that much, kick back all the way, go out to the side. He has knee swivel. Was interrupted. You don't know that because I cut it out. But anywho, more than 90-degree bend right there. And he has ankle pivot. And the foot goes forward and comes up due to transformation. So you can get some nice leg poses. Nice poses, period. His fusion cannon is nicely detailed with that transparent purple missile right there. Like, sort of like a tech specs gauge right there. and it shoots awesomely, like really far. And it's easy to push this by accident, but anywho, transformation. Let's put this missile back in here. It's decently simple. Basically, you lower this down, put his head like that, lower that down. Split the arms, fold the hands in, go ahead and bring the elbow up like this, and it has a joint right there. And that was also a joint that could be used in robot mode, which I didn't go over. You have to take the cannon off, which pegs on to here. And same thing over here. Bring that up, bring the arms out. Have the wheels like that. You can see the tank tread detail right there. With his little hands in there, you gotta not pay attention to. Get this back panel out of the way and raise these arms up. Now, this part is a little bit tough because you gotta work around this back panel, but basically you fold his feet up and work it around the back panel. And you can lift it up out of the way. Well, basically, get everything flush. Smash that down. Take this part, pull it out, and rotate it like this. And this little extra piece covers this empty spot right there. The head came up. Push this down, leave these up, grab the fusion cannon, put it into this little slot right there, this part. Good luck in doing this with not pushing the button. So basically close these in to fill up that little gap, and here he is as a Cybertronian tank. Doesn't really look like anything, but it's pretty much okay. Here he is. I don't remember being like this, but this cannon doesn't stay on that peg very tightly at all, which is a little bit annoying. Okay, here are his details. You can see the stripes out on the bottom of his feet. That's the only extra added paint in this mode. He has a grabby, clampy thingy, sort of like Transformers Armada Megatron. You can see his extra cannon right there, which you could also see in his robot mode. And of course, this extra cannon right there on the side of this larger fusion cannon. And his tank treads. He has wheels. He rolls not very well at all. When I transformed it right before this review, it was rolling a little bit better than this from what I can remember. But yeah, there we go. You have to just spread it up. And if you want to pretend in a video game, they roll when you push down a certain button, but typically they hovered, so these treads would be under there, and he would just be floating and rocking back and forth, able to strafe and shoot whatever. It didn't fly, but he could shoot whatever. I mean, he could strafe and hover around, like I said. And he can still shoot in this mode really well. All in all, this is cool. I mean, I wouldn't rush out to get it, but it is a cool representation of his video game form. And I just realized I didn't do any size comparisons in robot mode, so let me get that together. Here he is next to an older deluxe that's Reveal the Shield / Universe Cyclonus, and a newer deluxe Combiner Wars Dead End. I think Dead End is a smidge shorter than the other Combiner Wars Deluxes. I'm not sure. They're all roughly around the same size, but if I'm right, he is a tad shorter, and the other figures are a little bit closer to his height, like Cyclonus is. But as you can see, there hasn't been much of a change since he came out, but there's that scale. If you want to see him next to some other video game warriors, like if you want to see him next to the Fall of Cybertron Seekers, I'm going to put a card for that right about here. And also War for Cybertron, Soundwave is in that comparison, and Shockwave. But anywho, I like this guy. Should you rush out and get him? No, unless you're trying to complete your video game Decepticons. And he would make a good leader for those Combaticons that came out and all the other figures. But those figures suck. I didn't buy them. Anyhow, if you like my review, click the like button, share, comment, subscribe. T-Man978 out of here. Until next time.